Hey guys, how's everyone doing? Hope you guys had a great holiday. Today, we're going to be tackling the question of whether you can save the civilians on the mission Evacuation. So, I know that you're thinking like there's an achievement for that on one of the higher difficulties, where if you save enough Marines on the elevator part of the mission Evacuation, you get the achievement. But that's not what we're going for in this video. Because if you haven't noticed, in that even in that with that achievement, if you were to save all those Marines, once the Guardian sets off its EMP, all those Marines will actually just instantly die, and it seems like there's no way to save them. So we're gonna try a few things to see if we can save any of the Marines, or the civilians. Actually, there's actually a few civilians among them, so we're gonna see if we can save them. Cause I know a lot of people who play Halo are pretty what we call perfectionists. They want to save everyone and defeat all the enemies, and basically be a Halo hero. But anyways, what we're gonna do here is we're gonna bring the warthog with us into the courtyard area, which is pretty simple to do. Just gotta drive it with a crash pelican. There's a certain angle where it makes it really easy to get it over, and the reason why I'm doing this first is because some people have told me rumors or a theory that if you have the Marines on your warthog, they will survive. They'll be fine. So we're going to put that to the test and see if that theory is in fact true or not. And it's actually plausible, because I remember in Halo, I want to say Halo 1 or 2, there was a similar trick you could do to save Marines, or at least keep Marines longer. If you had them on like a vehicle, they don't despawn or something like that. They don't die. So it's possible, because Halo 5, there's still a bit of the older Halo games in it, so maybe something like that is still around and it's still possible on Halo 5. So we're gonna give that a try here. So we're just gonna clear all the enemies in the courtyard right now, once we get all the warthogs through. And once you clear all the enemies, just make sure all the warthogs are up there and try to save as many Marines as possible. And once the gate opens, don't rush right in. Actually, stay outside for a little bit and let as many Marines get in as possible. Otherwise, if you rush in, a lot of them will get stuck outside, which is actually what we did here, but we brought enough with us. So we're going to see if any of them will survive if we brought all of them with us. Maybe a few will survive, maybe the ones in the warthogs will survive. And we brought several warthogs with us just to be certain that we don't make a mistake. Because with the warthogs, we do need to protect them against Prometheans. And if you're doing this on higher difficulties, then well, you can have a tough time keeping the warthogs alive. Now, of course, as with any other glitch or trick that we do, unless otherwise specified, I always highly recommend you do it on easy difficulty, because, well, there's just no reason to do these on higher difficulties. Unless, like I said, you're the perfectionist in Halo and you want to, beat the game on the highest difficulty, defeat all the enemies without losing anybody, which some people actually do manage to pull off, and I'm actually pretty impressed. So give yourself a round of applause if you can actually do that, because I'm not good enough at Legendary where I can beat all the enemies and save all my allies. Usually I let my allies run in and get killed and use them as a distraction to sneak by the enemies or take them out myself. So yeah, I'm not the best AI protector in Halo, but with these videos, as you can see, every now and then I do try to see if they actually can be saved. So we're gonna skip ahead to this part after we defeat all the enemies. This is the part where the EMP wave from the Guardian hits the elevator, and normally all the Marines will die, but we have a few in our warthog, and we also have a ton of them in here still alive. So let's see if any of them survive at all. And the wave should be hitting momentarily. And as you can see, as you saw in our previous video, you do fly out of your seat in a really funny animation and land back in. But that's beside the point. The point is, all the Marines died, including the ones in the warthog. So, no, with this particular method, you cannot save the Marines. So that theory or myth is in fact not true, and I guess busted. But you know, we're not gonna stop there, because you know what we do on this channel. We don't quit until we're absolutely certain there's no way you can save something. So let's try a few things here. What we're gonna do now is there's actually these civilians or these workers here that are actually just happily sitting here working and doing their jobs, not worried about the fact that this is the last elevator to evacuate. In fact, they're just staying there. Like, all these workers just hanging around, just staying there, letting the Marines, the soldiers, evacuate while they stay behind and operate the elevator or something. And they all get left behind unless you bring some with you. But these Marines, actually, if you bring them with you on foot, they actually despawn after a while. But if we keep them on our warthogs, let's see what happens. So we're just gonna get a few of them on our warthogs. Some of them you can't move. Some of them are just sitting out here injured or just in like a repeating animation or pose, not knowing that they're about to die, just ignoring the warning that you're supposed to evacuate. In fact, during the elevator part, there's like a lady on the radio asking if there's anyone still out there. I feel like she's probably one of these workers that got left behind, because she sees everyone evacuating, she hears the notices, but she doesn't evacuate. Anyway, so we got these workers on here. They're all unarmed, and if you're weaponless in Halo 5 and you get in passenger seat, you actually stand straight up, as you can see with that Marine and passenger. But otherwise, these civilians can actually still use turrets. They still have Marine AIs. So let's see what actually happens. The blast wave should be hitting very shortly now. And there you have it. After the blast wave hit, they were totally unaffected by it. They were even less affected than us, than the Spartans. So, yeah, that's basically solves that question, which is, yes, you can save the civilians, but you can't save any of the Marines, and you can only save the civilians if you keep them on a warthog. Otherwise, they kind of just disappear after a while. So, yeah, I mean, right here we have a little mix of Marines and civilians to see the difference. The blast wave should be hitting in just a second, but I believe we have a civilian on one of the turrets, and the rest of the vehicles is just nothing but the regular Marines. So let's see what happens here when the blast wave hits. We actually have quite a lot this time on multiple warthogs. So much that we have a frame rate drop during this. But yeah, there you have it. Only the civilian workers survived. All the Marines did not. In fact, what's interesting about these civilians is that they are totally invincible. Because in normal gameplay, if you try to kill civilians, everybody dies. But if you do this glitch, something else interesting happens. In that case, we all just died. But on some rare occasions, if you stand at like different distances or different levels, like different elevations on the ground, and you try to kill the Marines or the civilians, they're actually totally invincible. Like Halo 5 will not let you kill civilians no matter what. Even though it says like you killed a civilian, it's like they're unharmed, and you're normally supposed to die. But apparently, if you're on different like elevations or different distances, apparently they'll survive. You'll survive, and other players with you will die. So as you can see, when I keep doing this, my other teammates keep dying, and yeah, so I guess no, they're invincible, but technically you can get away with killing civilians in Halo 5. I may make a separate video of this, just investigate a little further, but that kind of answers that question that I explored once in Halo Reach. But yeah, so there you have it, folks. Hope you guys found that to be interesting, and if you did, make sure to leave a like, leave your thoughts and comments. Just let me know what you want to see next, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and click the little notification icon to stay up to date with our latest videos.